Welcome in to my discussion on the unknown. So, how comfortable are you with the unknown? This is a topic that comes up a lot in my work and just comes up a lot in our life, right? Period. So I want to give you a perspective that maybe I think you haven't heard before that can really help you to ease your mind, ease your body, ease your spirit, and ease your choices when dealing with the unknown. So I want you to imagine yourself that you are living in a environment that's very primitive, where it was during the time when there were any houses, or you were just like out living on the land, and you were a group, you were a tribe, and this really primal tribe is the people that were part of your group. Like, each of you were your own survival. Think about that, and that in this group, this tribe of you and the family that you were surrounded by, is how you managed the land, is how you managed to move through life. And you went out and you got food from different areas of the surrounding land of which you lived in. Now, what happens when we are in that type of environment, like that type of environment, we go back to the time of primitive man, when we were having to rely on each other for our safety, for our food. Like, that right there is such an archetypal pattern for us that runs still deep within us. And let me explain that a little bit differently here, and so you can understand the point that I'm getting to. That everything from the beginning of time is within each of us. We all carry that history. We all carry that inheritance within ourselves. We all carry the memory and the imprinting of those who came before us. So imagine if you were living in a time where each of you had to rely on each other and the land of how you survived. And that what you knew is that this particular, let's say, radius of environment is where you stayed, and that you wouldn't go beyond that, because going beyond that was what? The unknown. Going beyond that meant that you were going into territory where you could possibly be eaten by an animal that you'd never seen before. You can possibly encounter another tribe that you had never met before, and you wouldn't know how to deal with it, because it was what? The unknown. So do you see the concept that I'm getting to here? And this isn't just a concept in terms of that, oh, that's like, something outside of yourself. This is something that is inside of us. This is something that is part of our primitive, part of our primordial existence. And so the unknown isn't just this thing that we make up. It actually is an actual feeling. It's actually a memory within our body that's been imprinted, that if we go beyond to what we don't know, the potential of us not surviving is real, because it was real, right? It really was real back then. And if you look at certain types of animals, not certain types of animals that live out in the wild, it's like they're going to stay with their own tribe, because if they go beyond that, they go out into the unknown. They go out into territory that they haven't discovered. So the potential for them not to survive is great. So it is part of our imprinting for us to stay with a tribe, and yet it keeps us limited by staying with the tribe. Now, this is part of the shadow aspect of the tribe. It doesn't mean that we can't have and we don't need groups of like-minded people, but I also want you to take a look at that for yourself and see possibly of where there is limitation for you within the tribe, and where there is limitation for you to go beyond the belief system of that really primal instinct inside that says, I can't step into the unknown because I just may not make it. Interesting idea, isn't it? It's truth. It is. We carry all the imprinting within ourselves. It dictates our actions and our choices on a level that we don't even always know and recognize. So glad you tuned in, and I hope this was of some help. Namaste.